Alright, today it's time for the 2022 Land Rover Discovery. This car is bang for your buck wise, best out of the lineup that Land Rover offers, or Range Rover. You're going to drop, I'd say at a max, 78 grand, maybe. You might hit 80 on one of these. So 80 grand, and get more space than Range Rover Sport, Range Rover, third row, which is comfortable. I mean, air suspension, it's everything. Why this car doesn't compete with more cars like it in the luxury SUV market, I still don't know. But this thing is badass. So I'm going to go through a few of its features today. Check it out. First thing I'm pointing out, this screen. So it's standard. It's the same screen you get in the Defender. Nice part about the Discovery, you don't even have to option it on like you do for the Defender. It just comes on it. So it's still kind of a little curved. I love how it sits. I mean, it sits like it was built for that, which it was. So killer job on that. They kept the same compartment here, which is also super cool. Boom, hidden storage. Okay, pretty reasonable size too. They even made it so that you can still adjust climate while that's open, which is very nice of them. Otherwise, all you would do, pull on that, boom, I'm on fan speed, push on it, boom, I'm on seats. They still make it look like you got cooled seats even if you don't. So double check that, otherwise you're gonna think you got cooled seats and you don't. Click, it feels like actual buttons, and then it syncs up with the screen above. So good job on that. All right, next thing we got, standard for this year, air suspension. So you got 3 different modes for it. You've got access, normal, and off-road, which is what it's always been. But as of this year, interestingly enough, if I click off-road, I have an auto option, which will figure out what I need at any given time, or I can do off-road 2, which is interesting. So, and it signifies it right there. Actually, where'd it go? Oh, it's hidden. Yeah, there it is. Boom. Super weird. So, easy access. It used to be a button here. I do miss the button layout because it's super easy. I mean, all they have is the configurable terrain response now. So I miss the button, but overall, I mean, it's like I'm on nav here. Boom, I'm there. Access. So, super easy from that respect. I can still lock it. Here, I'll go back. I can still lock it into access mode if I want. So if I go back, access, lock, it'll keep it there until I'm at too high of a speed for it. So like that they did that. They also included the auto brake hold and engine start stop on this screen. So if you have a Land Rover Discovery and it's 2021 or 2022, that's where they're hiding. You're going to go for the car icon. Once you're there, everything's immediately accessible for the 2 things that you'd really want immediately accessible. Engine start stop, which everybody hates. Auto brake hold, which most people like when they know that it's engaged. So keep that in mind. You've got it on your car. Here we got the upper glove box that is Land Rover tradition pretty much for a lot of their cars. Just a little storage there. We also got a purse hook, which is great. I say purse, you could hook anything there. Then you got traditional storage down below. Next, we've got the setup down here. This setup, much better than previous Discoveries. So clean. This is back to an actual shifter, thank God. Nobody wants the dial anymore. Volume right there, which makes it easy. I love that. It's super easy to access. And then we've also got wireless charging in the back, which operates like a tray, and then additional storage and USB-C. The last thing down here that is, in my opinion, the coolest feature, boom, super deep compartment. Hidden under there, there's actually a USB-C down there, and there's no labeling saying that it does that, so it's just very hidden. And then additionally, I will say these things are actually pretty nice. You can slide your phone in there. You can even do another one there. I love it. I don't know where I'm supposed to put my phone on half these cars. They put 2 spaces there, which makes perfect sense. So thanks for doing that, Rover. All right, the last 2 of my favorite features for the 22 and 21 Land Rover Discoveries are going to be on the screen. So first is going to be your off-road information screen. It gives you a ton of information, literally everything you would need to know when you're not actually on a road. So it'll tell you altitude, it'll tell you what your suspension level is on each tire, it'll tell you your bearing, your incline, your level of incline, your sidewaysness. I don't even know what the proper term for that is. You don't need it, but it'll tell you it, okay? And in addition to that, they've got weight sensing, which obviously shows you your max there, which is pretty high. The weight sensing actually changes. So if I click this, and let's say I go up to off-road, and actually I'm gonna go up to off-road 2. Okay, so it's moving there now. We're gonna let it move to off-road 2. This will be a good display of how long it takes to actually get there from the lowest setting. So it's still moving, done. All right, so we're in off-road 2. Now if I go back, boom, changes the weight height. So you know what you're doing. Then if I go back to 4x4 info, obviously gives you any updates there. And then it gives you a little screen that tells you all the details on each of the drive modes. So you know what you're supposed to be doing, or you know if this drive mode's right for you. So if I spin over to grass, gravel, snow, you'll see a display here. It actually asks me, hey, do you want to activate low traction launch? In this case, I don't need it, but obviously that's a useful feature to trigger as soon as you select it, because a lot of times you're going to be in a situation where you decide, okay, I'm not getting traction, I need snow mode, and maybe you're stuck because you don't know if you can do that while you're driving, which you totally can. You can do it while you're driving. So this screen popping up is super nice, because if you are in that situation, you are stuck on a hill or something, you can do a low traction launch. It'll take care of everything for you, and you really don't have to do anything. So super nice. Click no. It's going to tell me all the details about grass, gravel, snow, and give me information as to what the car is going to do now that I'm in that mode. So switching back is as easy as flipping to comfort. Boom, done. The other feature that I want to point out, camera. So it's the same camera setup, and it's going to show me off-road camera. So that is nice to display. You've got off-road camera view, which actually gives you both tires where you would expect them in the front of your car. So brilliant. I don't know why people don't offer camera views like this. If you have 4 cameras, just give me predetermined setups. I'm never going to go, like, honestly, I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to go to on-road. I can go all the way down here. If I think I'm going to curb my rims, I am not going to go through the extra 3 steps of checking first through here, rather than just adjusting my rear view or like getting out. So the fact they offer it here, great. No one's ever going to use it. Once I get to off-road, if manufacturers offered this, I would use that reasonably often, especially if I could key it to like my fast button. Like you have a button here that's programmable. So I could key it to that technically and use it, not in this vehicle, but you know, if manufacturers are listening, please do that. That would be so great. I'd love to be able to just click that and see, oh shit, am I gonna hit this ball, or am I gonna hit the garage or whatever? So useful. And then additionally, in off-road views here, this is clear sight view underneath. So I would need to drive forward slightly for you to view under the hood, but it is extremely useful. It's pretty solid, gives you the view you'd expect, and allows you to negotiate rocks that you can, you know, you see the rock coming, you know it's a sizable rock. Once you pick it up on this camera, it's a lot easier to avoid. So I love that. Flipping back to on-road, as you saw me display, these are your different camera views. You can see little trapezoids there that you can select, and it'll change the views. Pretty good setup. Like I said, I don't see myself using this. It's kind of like BMW's spin wheel. Like it's cool, it's gimmicky, but honestly, all I'm gonna see is this. When I put it in reverse, that's what I wanna see. And that's what shows up on all the cars, as expected. Those are the 2 views you really wanna see, and everything else is cool, but again, it seems to me like things you would do with somebody you're showing your new car to. You know, hey, check this out. Oh yeah, look, Bob, I can spin it around. Oh yeah, it's so cool. I mean, are you really gonna do it? No. I mean, is there a reason that the blinker will light up if your blinker's on? No, there's no reason. It doesn't, but it does it. So it's for that little touchy-feely that people want for new cars. But in any case, I do love how they put it together. So, all right, folks, we made it to the back seat. As you can see, second sunroof, really a moonroof, above me here, and obviously the 3 headrests in the way of any visibility. Nice part about that, these guys all have buttons on the side, so it makes folding them down super easy because you can just fold down the headrests themselves first. You don't have to move this seat up. So you'll see right now my favorite part of the back is shown here. This is favorite part of the back seat without question, the fact that you've got rollers. So none of the Range Rovers have rollers, not a single one of them. So it's one of the things that goes a long way when you're trying to maximize space. If I got a third row of people in here, okay, and they're not children, they're not like 3 years old, then I'm gonna have to scoot this row up a little bit. I'm gonna have to scoot the front row up a little bit. I love that you can do it, okay? It's a pain in the ass to do, but I love that you can do it. So if I'm trying to maximize space for any given trip or any given project or whatever, I can do it. So that's a killer feature in and of itself. Also, the addition of these guys, super smart, just USBs. Universal mount system for whatever you wanna mount in the back. Nice addition as well. We got AC setup down here. Same setup as up front, your pull to get to fan speed, push for any seat related functions. This one doesn't have heated or cooled seats, but if it did, that's how it would operate there. Then a ton more. You got 2 USB-Cs, you got a 12 volt, you got a USB. And then I do love, I mean, traditional Land Rover fashion, Range Rover fashion, these are kick proof. They're all like plastic backed, and then this is a leatherette. But it's just made to be kind of kicked. So if you do have kids, you really don't have to worry about that mesh netting getting torn up over the years, because this wears pretty well. I've seen it after some heavy usage. But overall, back seat, pretty amenable. All right, lastly, we've got the trunk. Trunk is pretty massive, even with third row. This has third row, for example. Ton of space. In case they still kept your grocery hook hangers, air suspension buttons for raising or lowering. Reminder, you can do that when it's on, so it is actually operating now, as we can kind of see. And then they also kept releases for the seats here too. So you can do seat release, even though they're not electronic, I can still do a seat release here. So, boom.